All right, what is up, guys? It is the weekend, and for me, in the summertime, that means projects. And today we're talking about a previous project that I've already completed, but I wanted to bring you up to speed on what I've done with it before I get it back up on the ceiling. And what that is the rooftop tent sitting here behind me, and the modifications I've done or had to do in order to make this thing usable again. So in a previous video, last cut video with Tony, I made mention of us having a heck of a time getting this thing put up the night we got there. Camped out, threw the rooftop tent up. Struggled a little with that. Eventually got to bed. Didn't go into detail, but let's just dive into that right now. So what had happened was the bolt on this rooftop tent right here was crazy tight, so that it bound the tent to a point where we could not open it. It'd get about 90 degrees and the thing just would not open. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning and we're frustrated, and after fiddle farting with it for too long, essentially I just forced it open, pulled bolts through the base of the tent, straight through. That's how much torque and force was on that thing. Slept in it fine, great, folded it back up. We stayed in a hotel the rest of the time, but kind of unacceptable in my book. So what happened, like I said, was this bolt had tightened up after we figured that out. Came back here, got it set up, and threw some WD-40 on it, and loosened it up, and it opens like a dream again. Something to note about these, I guess. I did not realize if that was a maintenance thing or something you just had to look out for and watch. Regardless, I know now. If it has trouble opening, I know to check that. But I don't know, it seems like it could be a better design. I don't know how it would tighten up so much so that it gave us the situation we're in. But as a result, I had to make the fix. And so the fix is these plates. Aluminum plates are 1/4 inch thick, I think, might even be more than that. And they're essentially acting as a giant washer to distribute the load put forth on from these bolts across this surface. So it's bolted to the bottom, and it works great. Probably what should have been done in the first place. All this is maybe, I'm not sure the gauge on this, but guessing I'd say 14 gauge. A 16 gauge is a 1/16 of an inch thick. So you got a smidgen more in thickness on these things. They are sandwiched together, top and bottom, 2 sheets of it, with this kind of like waffle boardy material in between. But it just doesn't hold up, you know. And on the waffle board roads that we're seeing, I have this tent on the back of my truck continuously, and just quite frankly, it just hadn't held up as well as I'd hoped. Fabric, everything else, all the hardware, whatnot, has held up great aside from these straps. I knew right from the get-go, though, that these straps, the strapping that's used on this, I've seen it before and other things living in Arizona, and it's like the first thing to break, snap, wear down, break down here in Arizona and in the Arizona UV sun. So this webbing, I think, is going to be the first failure. I've replaced and modified, as you've seen in one of the previous videos, with this system. Much better, I feel, in securing the tent together, compressing it down, and the strapping should hold out a little longer. But as far as this goes, I had to do a little notching of the plates themselves to avoid running into some of these straps. But works flawlessly. It's now back to functional. The next thing, though, like I said, with these bottom plates here, this bottom board, is these holes have honed themselves out, and more than likely I'm going to have to eventually put some like square sheets riveted out, and then just continually replace that top and bottom. Like I said, you can only compress it so much, and when you're tightening it down, it literally will squish the base of this the tent down. If it's this thick and it starts squishing, I mean, you can only go so far with it because of how thick this material is. And on, like I said, the waffle boards and off-road, you have these 4 points holding down your tent in a compression state, and any kind of lateral movement is only held in place by friction, or this bolt, and what happens is it just hones itself out as you're going down the road, and you get this. So just wanted to kind of give you an update on where I am with the tent and kind of my feelings toward it. I still like it, love sleeping in it, I love the convenience when it works, but having to deal with kind of these things, hopefully anybody out there, this has helped you out. Anyway, appreciate you guys checking in. Make sure you're subscribed, follow us, Facebook us, whatever you do with us. We appreciate everything. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.